All right, you guys give me a thumbs up. You got me? Am I stable? All right, awesome. First of all, guys, you guys are doing an outstanding job. Keep those, keep those sophomores, keep them coming. I appreciate you guys doing, basically participating in that question I had for you about respect. It was really good. I wrote everybody back specifically about what you had talked about, and I was very impressed with what we did. So I'm gonna just keep saying I'm very encouraged about what it is that we will be able to focus on, and we're doing it now, which is great. But we will really be able to do it when we're able to meet together. So it might be a little sticky here. Give me, if you would, give me a thumbs up that you can see what's on the screen right there. It says deadline. Can you give me a thumbs up on your screen again, or in person, I guess? Here, we seem to be back. Okay. I think some people got chucked off here. So I'm just going to hang for a second here. Something's a little sticky on this thing. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. We've got this thing recording, but so there's a deadline coming up on Monday, and that's what I would call a hard deadline. And so that's not like, well, sort of like Monday at noon, right? You've got to make sure you've done that website registration. I don't know, sitting here right now, like where everyone sits on that front. So got those questionnaires that you need to send back to me. Those are extremely important. All right, let's see if I can get back here. Okay, here we are, hopefully. So you've got your workout. Your workouts, you got to check off your mile, your 50 push-ups and sit-ups. And at this point, it's like you got to finish those. You got to check those off. And then your question about the team respect. So if you don't have those done, you're going to get frozen out of the Google Classroom. The next time that you'll be able to get back in will be about 2 months from now. So, if you know anybody who wants to join, they're gonna have to jump in very quickly and get some stuff done. But you will not be not allowed to come to the meetings. You're more than allowed to come to the meetings. It's just the Google Classroom is where the proprietary information will start to show up. You'll see that today. We'll go back over the offensive stuff and then defensive stuff as well. So that's why that's meant to have value for you. If you're not in the Google Classroom, you can still work out. You're not off the team or anything like that, but you have some requirements to stay in there. So, all right, let's keep this thing going here. So quick review, offense last week. We did 4 plays. We did red, which is triple. We did red pepper, which is play action off a triple. Blue, which is toss, and then blue pepper, which is the play action. The way we're going to call these plays, odd numbers are going to be to the left. Even numbers will be to the right. So like red 22 is triple option to the right, right? Blue pepper 13 is blue to the left with play action off it. So quick review. All right, so we saw this last week. This would be, we're going to run red 13. It's going to be to the left here, right? Number 1, the person we read is the person touching. They got to be touching the tackle. Number 2 is the next defender outside of number 1 or stacked on number 1. And so just kind of looking at this again, right? Takes the dive. Number 1 takes the dive. So you can see where, look how fast he shows up. This is why the splits are incredibly important. If we don't line up with the right splits, the defender won't be far enough away from what we call the mesh. So boom, you see how he's there so quick? So that's fine. We pull it. All right, we get out to number 2. And number 2 takes the pitch. So the quarterback runs it. And he runs into the end zone. Pepper, this is going to be red pepper 12. So red pepper, we're going to run like it looks like red 12. So it looks like red 12. And if you notice, they've got no defender in the middle of the field. That's going to be a concept for us. We will always have a defender in the middle of the field. So we run red pepper 12. So it looks like red 12. And there's the middle of the field with no defender. So that receiver who's running what's called a crack and go. It's a nice catch. From a receiver point of view, we call that a challenge ball. That is not, some people might call that, oh, it's a bad ball. No, that's a challenge ball. You've been put to a challenge, and it looks like he rose to the challenge. So strike up the band. All right, blue. Blue is our toss. So we may do some crushing with the receiver. Just depends on the front. And so the whole idea of running toss is to get the ball so wide, so quickly we out leverage them. So we're not even trying to actually block this guy. We're trying to out leverage him by the fact that we catch the ball so wide. So we get it way out there, and notice that that's the guy. He was number 1 on the triple count. We leave him unblocked, and he cannot make the tackle. So it takes a lot of timing. Takes a lot of precision out there to get the ball that wide to him. So that's what we work on in practice. From a play action point of view, right, different formation coming up. So we shift to it right here. Don't have to worry about the shift. This is trips. So there's our 2 receiver side, running backs on the line of scrimmage. So we've got 2 eligible receivers. We're going to run blue pepper 13. So it looks like blue 13 in the backfield. We boot out. If you remember from last week, kept hitting the tight end, the B back in the flat. He's covered. We've got our short corner route from receiver number 2. And he gets a nice little challenge ball. Makes the catch. So that's what this offense does in the play action game. It creates, and in the pass game, one-on-one opportunities. I'm going to go one more thing here so we will talk about this next week, but this does a very good job. If you notice this picture right here, so the play is over. I mean, it's over. He's already caught the ball. If you notice, that ball is locked. We see this ball is locked away. He's got pressure through his forearm right up into his rib cage. Back elbow is locked down or split in the tip. So we have what's called 4 points of pressure on that football. And that ball is locked away here. Just like we're going to take the ball away on defense. On offense, it is our ball at the end of the play. It is our ball. We are not going to give that ball up until somebody wants to come and take it from us, an official, precisely. All right, defense. Here we go. So this will be kind of our first exploration down here. So I'm going to do this. I want you guys read that. When you are done reading it and you got a minute or two, give me a thumbs up on your screen. Take your time. No rush. Get everybody here. We lost one person here. We had 7. Okay. Looks like we've got that. So again, you guys are right, kind of sophomores, so you may not have been exposed to this, but I'm gonna let you in on a secret here. What I'm putting on the screen is not proprietary. Okay, that's like you could go into almost any team in America, football team, like they could have something that like pretty similar to this. Okay, so it's not what's written here because this slide is about to disappear. It's all about how we're going to do it and how we're going to be held accountable to do it. And so how we're going to be accountable to each other and the details when we're out at practice, when we're other places, that we're going to be able to achieve to do this. So, 100% effort, sure. Execution, you got to be able to line up. You got to be able to know what you're doing. You're like, yeah, I've heard this before. I played football once. Be physical and then ball aware. So that is not. But now we get into some of the proprietary parts of how we do it. So we're going to run what's called a double eagle flex defense. No matter what defense, we have to be able to line up. We have to be able to identify the offense and line up. Remember last week kept talking about identify the defense. Like, is it under? Is it even? Odd? I mean, this is a recurring theme. So this is what we start to take care of here in these meetings, and then also when we finally do get together. But we have to be able to properly line up. If we can't line up, it doesn't matter if you know your job. They're going to gash you, is what it's called. Okay, like that's when they hand the ball to the running back and he runs right through the gap, the A gap, untouched. So that's going to be gone in this defense. So here is, sorry, I need my cursor. So here's the 11 people. They all have a different name. You don't have to memorize this. This will be, again, part of the video, which I'm not creating. Or am I? Nope, I am recording. Yes. And so you've got 5 up front. These are the first level defenders. Now I don't know what position you're going to play, but I do know like Jay-Z's, he's not going to play free safety. I know that. Like Josh not playing free safety, but I don't know what you're going to play. Okay. All right. I can think probably Chris, you're not going to play nose guard. Right. You're not going to play the nose, but so don't be like, look, don't tell me this like until you tell me what position I'm playing. So, but concept wise, we have to be able to play as 11. So the front right here, those 5, it's actually the easiest thing. They don't have to know anything about lining up except one of them is to the field and the other ones are to the boundary. So the field is the big side of the field where the most space is. The boundary would be the other side. So those 5, they don't care anything else about the skill position players. The second level players, the Mike, the Rover, and the Sam, like that's all they do. Like you cannot play strong safety if you can't line up, and it's mostly heavily on you. The field corner and the boundary corner never change sides, and the free safety always sits in the middle of the field. So these guys, I call these the adjusters. They're going to adjust. So let me show you what that looks like here. So here's a formation. Let me shrink. Sorry. Get you guys out of the way so I can see here. So we've got a tight end, right? We've got twins to the field. In all these pictures, the field is to the right, is to the defensive right. So that's why the FC, the field corner, is always to the right. I need my cursor. I don't know why it's gone. Those 5 always are lined up. As you see, the nose is on the center. The bandit is to the field. He's a 3 technique. He's a stand-up 3 technique. He's flexed back. That's why we call it a double eagle flex. We have 2 flex defenders. All right, these are 5 techniques. It's a little different with a tight end, and there's some nuances there. But for the meantime, we can just kind of pretend like he's really not there. These 5 players, concept-wise, they are responsible to spill the football. Right? The football in this defense is schemed such that the ball should never go between the C gaps. This is the A gap, the B gap, and the C gap. So on both sides. So the ball here, these 5, their sole purpose is to make sure the ball, if handed to the running back, does not go through there. right? The ball has to bounce. So these are called spill. Everybody is spilling the football outside of them. The ball would never go through the line of scrimmage on their inside arm. So the outside of them, they have what we have called force players on this defense. The rover and the strong safety be the force players. So those players are leveraging the football, keeping it inside of them. So these guys spill to the force players. Force players keep it inside, and the Mike is the one who's going to go make the tackle. So we've got a one back offense here. So we've got one linebacker. Okay. And free safety is at 12 yards. He's going to be shaded to the field. Okay. So there's how we line up. And don't worry about, are we playing cover 3, playing cover 1, what's coverage, coach? Like we're going to deal with that later. We're just dealing with how we get lined up. Here's a 2-back. Here's an I formation, right? We've got a tight end, sort of I backs. So look, the Mike and the rover are both sitting inside. All right. They're both sitting inside here, field corner, boundary corner, and the free safety. So we talk about the adjusters, right? These 3 are the adjusters, the heavy adjusters. Okay. The heavy adjusters. Those 5 don't change. Right? They do not change in terms of what their job description is or how the skill positions are lined up. Here's a slot. We've got a tight end here on the defensive left. We've got a slot over here. So the strong safety is over number 2. Right? We've got 2 backs. Right? King backs here. We've got offset. So there's the rover. There's the Mike. Right? The boundary corner here. We don't go corners over. Right, the corner here, the boundary corner is the force player over here on run to the boundary. Okay, free safety is shaded to either to the field or to the twin receiver side or the trip side. So this is how we would line up to what on defense we would call this slot. Okay. And those 5 right there, those are responsible for all those gaps. These are squeezing gaps here. The nose is basically a 2-gap player, but the flex 3s, they react to what the guards do. The 5 techniques are squeezing off the edge such that the ball will bounce. They are spilling everything. Okay. Trips. So this would be 1 tight end. We've got trips. We've got 3 receivers over here. So notice the rover and the strong safety are over there to the trip side. Field corners over there. Boundary corners still to the boundary. 1 back. So the Mike is sitting. He's the only linebacker. And when I say linebacker, I mean in the box, second level defender. Right? These have all the rover, the Sam have been displaced because of the offensive formation. And I think we should have 1 more, don't I? I don't. I thought I did. No, just 4. And so that gives you a feel for, right, how we line up. Now, somebody asked in another meeting, what, like, are you going to give us those pictures? I will. After Monday, you'll kind of start getting, not pieces of paper, but files. But right now you can use those videos. You can go back and take a look at those videos. If you want to look at where the rover lined up, just pause it, right? It's good technique for what you probably use during the school year also. So does that kind of make sense? I would open it up if you do have a question. You're free to ask. You can ask, obviously, I'm going to shut off the recording here in a second. So I'm going to keep my eye on it. So I'm going to share this. We're going to start on time here. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys showing up. And I hope you guys had a good week. It's not over yet, but I was very impressed with all the responses that I got from you and your teammates. And if you haven't done it yet, then you want to make sure you do it. It's in the Google Classroom, but the responses were very impressive. And so I wrote everyone back who had submitted a statement. And I really appreciate you guys doing that. And I'm looking forward to, doing that stuff with you guys and making, this program be something that you guys are very proud of and that we work together to build. So I really think you guys did a great job doing that. So now we do have some business, however. Okay, now I don't have this all memorized, like who's done it or who hasn't, but Monday, this coming Monday, right, is a deadline for you guys. Okay, and I can help you guys. I would be more than happy to help you guys. And if you don't know what this stuff is here, then you're going to want to ask me. So there's been, right, you've had who's my cursor? Sorry. Registration, that website where you were basically signing up. That was where eventually you got to the point of a physical, and you don't need to have a physical right now. But you do need to have started that registration process. You need to open a profile. If you've checked in, which you all have to be able to get here, I gave you 2 questionnaires. I need you to send me those questionnaires. If you can't print them out and write them, it's totally fine. Just email me and say, like, number 1, this is my answer. Number 2, it's incredibly important here comes somebody. Here's Gage. Incredibly important to make sure that you've sent me back those questionnaires. You've got a few, maybe it's 5 workouts. Those are the ones that have been due like on Monday and Thursday, where you had to run a mile and do 50 push-ups and sit-ups. You need to get all those done. Late is fine. If you don't do one, then you've missed the deadline on Monday. Okay, and the other one is the question about the respect that we just talked about. So it's all in the Google Classroom. So here is the deadline. If you don't do all those things by Monday at noon, so then you'll get frozen out of the Google Classroom. You won't be off the football team. You won't be not allowed to come. You can come to the meetings that we're having right now. It's just you won't get into the Google Classroom. Now, what's in the Google Classroom? So yes, there are some questions, but the information, like the recording of this, playbook stuff, team building, that information is in the Google Classroom, available to you at any time. So if you don't have access to the Google Classroom, you can't access that information. That doesn't mean you can't play. It doesn't mean you're off the football team, or it just, there is a price of admission. And I'm excited to go down that path with you guys. So if anybody wants to join, you want to do it, because on July 27th, the submarine door closes a little bit. Like, it won't, the next time you can get in is going to be basically October 1st. So if you want to stay in, then you got to keep chipping away at that stuff. And so just ask me if you have a question about that. But there is a deadline Monday at noon to stay into this voluntary, the voluntary summer workout program on the Google Classroom. You will not be allowed to come to meetings. These are for support. These are for you, just to help you to inspire you, to help build, to keep you going, is what these are for. So think of it this way. I want everybody in the Google Classroom. It's just that you're going to have to do just a little bit to get in there and stay in there. Okay. So ask me if you have any questions about that. So offensive review from last week. All right. We went over kind of 4 plays. We may not have actually with you guys, just the red triple and the red pepper. So I'm going to keep it there. as a rule, all right, odd numbers are plays we run to the left. Even numbers are plays we run to the right, right? Odd left, even right, okay? So if we say we're going to run red 22, that means we're going to run triple option to the right. If we're going to run red 55, that would be triple option to the left. Okay, that gives us the ability to call it that way in the huddle, and also at the line of scrimmage. We can, that's what the numbers, it's called the cadence when they say numbers at the line of scrimmage. So the other play was toss, was blue and blue pepper. So very quick, and then we will then do some defense. So this is just a quick review. So here would be a picture. We are going to run here red 33. Turns out that's the call. So number one, the person we read on the dive, that's the person who's touching the tackle, the first person on or outside the tackle. Okay, that's the dive read. Number two is the first player outside number one. So this is the person we're going to read for the dive. That's the person we're going to read for the pitch. Now, it is very important that that player has to be touching the tackle. If this guy right here was in the gap, like not touching the tackle, he would be too close to what we call the mesh. The mesh is where the quarterback and the fullback, right? Right there, that's the mesh. See how fast that guy got there? See how quickly he got there? So that's why we take all those huge splits, like 3-foot splits and 4-foot splits, okay? Because we need to move him away from the mesh. If he was not touching the tackle, we would run a totally different play. So that's, and you don't need to know that, but so here we go. We got, let me go play here. I lost my cursor. Shoot, I lost it, sorry. So we're gonna run red 33. And so this is number one, that's number two. Okay, don't worry about the rest of it. We'll get all that stuff down. But we mesh with the fullback going left, right? Number one takes the fullback, so we pull it and we get around to number two. Number two takes, oh, he went to pitch. See that? So the quarterback now has nobody left. Look at how many more blockers we have than they have defenders. And there we go. And that works for the conquistadors every time. Okay, now we're going to run red pepper 22. So we're going to run play action to the right. Okay, and this guy's going to run what's called a crack and go. This is going to run a wheel. Now notice when we talk about defense for us in a minute, we will always have a defender in the middle of the field. If you notice, there's no defender in the middle of the field. So what an offense wants to do when that's the case is you want to run one of your guys to the middle of the field and throw it to him because that's the shortest pass. That's the pass that's easiest to complete. So look what we do here. We're going to run red 22, red pepper 22. So we call the backfield action as 22. And look at here, he knows it. Oh, great catch. Great catch. And so back in my former life, I was the play caller. So that's me down there. It's kind of funny. I get very excited. So this is Tredale Tolver. He's a wide receiver. Could not be a better guy. I hope someday to get him to you guys. He works at Google. I could not be more excited for him. I'm clearly very excited for him right there. So let's just kind of keep this going here. And like I said, I don't know if we talked about this play, but let's just kind of let it run here. Another play that we run because we will run triple option, they will have to defend it on every play. So another way to get the ball in our best position is we toss it wide there. Look how wide that is. And the person who can't make the tackle is this guy. And the reason why is because he is used to playing the dive. So that's a big gainer right there. And the reason why that was able to happen is because we caught it. Look at how wide this guy, he is outside the tackle. And so that's why we have to practice. We have to practice such that we get the timing, such that that happens. If we're a half count short, he makes the tackle. So if you want to know why we're going to practice, but we're going to practice smart, it's so that we can do that every time. The play action, we run off of that. So this is some advanced stuff. This is trips. So we put the running back on the line. Got two receivers over here. We're going to run blue pepper 33. So the backfield motion is going to go left. And so last week when we did this, the fullback was open every time. The B-back was open every time. He's not. But what we've got here is this flood concept. And so we've got a short corner from the receiver in the slot. And so he gets, from a receiver point of view, I call this a challenge ball. He's been challenged. He would love to have the ball thrown right at his head, but it's not. He's been challenged with a low ball. And it looks like he made the challenge. He got it. Now, I'm going to pause this here for a second. Everybody see how that guy's holding the football? Is he holding it like it's important or not important? Just right there. I know the play's over. I get that. The play's over. They've stopped. Does he think it's important or is it not important? Like, is he holding it like a loaf of bread? Or is he squeezing that thing? What does it look like? Oh, somebody got an answer? Yeah, he's squeezing it. You see that? So this is called 4 points of pressure. Okay. I don't care if you're going to be a lineman, you're going to be a skill guy, you're just going to play defense. You're all going to know how to hold the football and possess the football. He's got 4 points of pressure. His forearm is applying pressure through his rib cage. That's what he's really holding. His back elbow is locked down. The point of the football is in the crook right there between the bicep and the forearm. And it's also, he's splitting the tip of that football. So do you see how he is sending a message to the entire team here, our entire team, that it's our football, right? And I know it's over, but it's so important to him to possess that football that he doesn't take it lightly. He's only going to give it to somebody when that official comes and takes it from him, because it's our football. It's our football. Okay. So we will talk about ball security probably next week. Okay. Defense. So that was just a review of our offense. I'm going to let you read this. All right. If you take a minute, if you take 2 minutes, that's completely fine. We have no rush here. Why don't you guys read it and then give me a thumbs up when you've read that defense right there, when you've read those 4 points. Okay. No rush. You can give me a reaction or a thumbs up on your picture. Either way, no rush. It's kind of our defensive principles here. All right, so give me a thumbs up or a reaction thumbs up. Okay, Robert, you there? Hey, beautiful. Okay. Now I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. So I know you have not played high school football yet. At least I don't think you guys are repeating the 9th grade, but I don't think so. Now, so you see these 4 things? So you could go into almost any football team and you could ask, oh, what do you guys like on defense? Do you notice here it doesn't say what defense we play? Like, it doesn't say what our concept is, what our scheme is, but it says 4 things here. 100% effort. Great effort. You've probably played other sports where like I've heard that. You got to play hard. Execution, okay? Leverage, run fits. Like those are words that are a little specific to football. Physical. This is a physical game. There's no question. Okay. And then ball awareness, attack and take away the football. Just a second ago, you saw an offensive philosophy that was exactly the opposite of that. It was still we were ball aware, but it was possess the football. On defense, it's exactly, we attack it, we take it away. The thing is that these four concepts, it's how we do them. It's not that we've written them down on a piece of paper that makes it proprietary. Like almost any football team would have these four on the wall or on a piece of paper. Like it's how we're going to go about doing it. Okay. So let me keep you going here. I'm going to make this big here. Okay. Just like on offense, we have to be able to identify. Here it's the offense. On offense, it was identify the defense. We have to identify the offense because they can line up wherever they want, and we have to line up according to what they do. Right? And then we define what our job responsibilities are. Okay. So this is the fun part. This is the part I'm looking forward to teaching you guys. And so I'm going to go a little light on this. There's 11 defenders. They're kind of in three groups. Okay. There's a front, and we're going to have 5 guys that are the front. All right. They're our defensive front. We're going to have 3 people that are in what we call the second level. They're kind of linebackers. They're adjusters. Right? The third level defenders would be the corners and with the free safety. Okay. So I'm just going to let you kind of absorb this. Now, again, I don't know what position you're going to play. You probably don't know either. And so you don't have to, the memorization, this is more about understanding the entire concept here. Okay, let me take you, right, where these 11 line up. Okay, don't worry about it. It says doubles right here. That's just what we call this formation. This is the tight end, right? He is center, guard, tackle. Tight end would be the attached offensive, right? The third on a side. We've got a slot over here, right? 2 receivers. We have 2 receivers over here, but 1 is a tight end. So our front 5 right here, those front 5 are responsible to plug all the gaps outside of the tackle on each side. So the ball in our defense, the ball should never go through. This is called the A gap. That's the B gap. That's called the C gap. So A, B, C. These defenders should make the ball bounce. They're called spill. What they're doing is they're spilling the football. So these are spill defenders. So they are trying to squeeze it. They're not trying to make the tackle. They're trying to squeeze it such that the ball bounces to defenders who are there to make the tackle. Okay. And so that's, generally speaking, what we're trying to do there. When there is 1 running back, if you notice here, there's 1 running back, we've got 1 linebacker. Okay. BC, this is called the boundary corner. FC is what we call the field corner. Free safety is in the middle of the field. On all the, I'm going to show you 4 pictures. Maybe 2, maybe 3. But the free safety is, we always will have a defender in the middle of the field. We will not get caught without a defender in the middle of the field. Okay. That takes away the likelihood that they'll throw it to somebody who has run to the middle of the field. Okay. Second line up here. We've got a tight end over here on the defensive right. And we've got 2 running backs. So with 2 running backs, we've got 2 linebackers. Okay. The strong safety, that's the SS, is in a 3-by-3 off the tight end. Okay, he's the force player to this side. He is forcing the ball back inside. Okay, these players pursue. They pursue to each side. So that's how we would line up. The front five, they don't care actually. They really don't care. The nose is always over the center. These flex, we call this the double eagle flex. These are stand-up flexed 3 techniques to both sides. And then we've got 5 techniques. Gets a little interesting when you have a tight end. There are some nuances there, but for right now, it really doesn't matter. We'll do this one as the last one here. So we got a tight end over here on the defensive left, 2 receivers, 2 running backs. So the boundary corner has reduced down. He's the force player over here to the boundary. 2 linebackers because you got 2 running backs. Strong safety has been displaced because number 2 is receiver number 2 is extended from the box. This is what we call the tackle box. And so the strong safety, from a numbering, we call this receiver number 1. We call that receiver number 2. And if there was a number 3, here there is, that would be number 3. So that's what we call trips because there's 3 receivers to a side. So kind of gives you an overview of how we will end up lining up on defense, and sort of, we would call that a little bit of our schematic. And so just like we line up on offense a certain way, we have to line up on defense a certain way. Okay? So that was from what you're thinking of. It doesn't matter if you don't have to remember any of that. All I'm trying to do is just get you like a look. Just get you a look. That's what these meetings are for. That's what the Google Classroom is for. So that when we do start football, we've chipped away at some of this stuff a little at a time. And so all we want to do is just make sure, like, in a couple of weeks, we know a little bit more than we do right now. And so you will, if you kind of keep coming to these things, we'll keep doing that for you. And I'm looking forward to doing that for you guys. Okay. So what you want to think of is, do you have everything? Oops, unstable. Do you have everything, taken care of in the Google Classroom? If you're not sure, just email me. Okay. Email me and I can work through that with you. Okay. I'm looking forward. I love seeing you guys every Monday and Thursday. And I think we've got this is our rhythm, right? Kind of Monday and Thursday about this time. So I wish we were doing it like 8 days a week, but we're just gonna just keep the ball rolling and just keep us moving in the right direction. Okay. And guys, hope this is a release, kind of an escape, and that you guys that you guys are inspired to keep working out. So one day we're going to be able to meet in person and start actually playing football. Okay. But this is very important. Like, this is incredibly important. You won't understand, and you probably don't get it until we actually get out on the field, and you'll be like, I already know this stuff. We talked about this stuff. So that's what we're trying to do with you guys. Okay. I appreciate you guys coming, and you let me know if I can help you guys out any way. Okay. You keep me, just send me an email or anything you guys need. All right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for coming.